Hi, my name is David Quiroz, and this is the Sandbox Social. Let's get started with the show. Welcome back for part 2 of our Back to School episode. This is the Sandbox Social, your show where we talk all things early childhood, back to school, things that matter to our youngest citizens. We began today's topic actually a couple of weeks ago with some great interviews. Thank you so much again to those guests that we had on part 1. We had some great conversations about what back to school looks like for our administrators and our educators, but also, most importantly, what we can do as parents to prepare our children for success in whatever their first educational setting might be. If you haven't seen part 1, I recommend you pause, go back and watch it because it is really good, and it continues into this episode now. Like I mentioned, today for part 2, we have another great interview lined up. I spoke with Susan Orozco, a lead educator professional, a principal who's focused solely on a building filled with 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, some of who have never been in an educational setting before. Let's see what she had to say about back to school.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. We are here with our other interview of someone who, again, oversees an entire building focused on our youngest learners here in the city of Aurora. I'm here with Susan Orozco. Hi, how are you today?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I'm well. Can you give us a little bit of background as far as how you ended up in this role, how long you've been working with young children?
Sure. I started off as a kindergarten teacher in the city of Chicago. This is my 22nd year in education. So I did kindergarten for 14 years, and then I became an assistant principal in this district. Okay. And then for 3 years, and then this is my 7th year now. I'm entering as principal of this building.
7 years as principal here. Mm-hmm. So you've gone through many first days, right? Many first transitions for our youngest learners. Before we talk about the transitions and what that looks like, what is one of the things you like most about being a principal?
Getting to see my why. I do this every single day. First, the big people start walking in the door early, and then the little people follow them. And yes. So I never have to wonder why I'm doing what I'm doing, because if I lose sight, I just leave my office for a few minutes and
yes.
Walk the building, and there they all are.
Yes. And right, people walking into little bodies entering this space, some who have never been in any sort of educational background or experience, right? Educational setting. Before that, you got little ones, 3-year-olds in this building, and they're yes. going into classrooms. What are some of the challenges that you see with someone who maybe hasn't been exposed to other settings, other children, instructors? What are some of those things that you kind of have to focus on the first couple of weeks that the staff is really working with some of these kids in this big transition for them?
Yeah, so it's with the little ones and the big ones. Some parents have a really hard time too, because the children have just been that's their whole world is just being at home.
Yep.
And so trusting them to us, trusting them to be with others that are not family is a transition for both the little people yes. and the big people. So we have a lot of tears on both sides. So trying to know how to, help the parents feel a little bit calmer and help them know, hey, it's okay, to let go. And they see that every day a little bit yes. more. For the kids, some of them, again, coming from a more sheltered environment at home, a lot of tears, a lot of anxiety. So trying to entice them to come in and, every day a little bit more comfort they have in the transition.
Yeah, big transition. And you mentioned some of those anxieties. So what are some of the common, I think, misconceptions that people have in regards to preschool or even kindergarten when it comes to parents who, again, because of maybe the experiences that they had growing up in their own educational journey, what are some misconceptions that you hear from them as far as, their assumptions of what it's going to be like and what it actually is?
Yeah, so one common one is that it's babysitting, and that the little kids like 3 and 4 cannot like what can they learn at this age? But really, as we know from the research, 90% of all human brain development happens between birth and maybe even before and age 5. So this is really where they're super little sponges. They pick up on so many things, verbal cues, and even just like things that they notice. Some of them are super observant. I was in all navy blue the other day, and one of the kids asked their teacher, "Why is she dressed like a policeman?" And so I thought that was super observant of him to, to pick up on that. So I think that, people don't realize what their kids are capable of if they have the right environment and the right supports.
Yeah, that's some of my background in working with parents and the importance of engaging parents. So I have 2 questions. In your setting here, how do you engage parents in this process, in this transition right from the beginning? What kind of opportunities exist for parents to be engaged with the school, with the teacher, things like that?
So we do a family orientation when they first start, the day before the kiddos start. Okay. And so the parents come in with the kiddos, get to spend just a brief time in the classroom getting to know the teacher, getting some little materials that they'll need to get started with them. The child also gets to meet the teacher, and then they come in and do like an orientation where we kind of set the expectations, the hours, opportunities for them to get involved. We offer parent workshops. We'll do like an assessment survey to see what parents are interested in. We offer workshops throughout the year for them. We offer family days where they can come in the classroom too and learn about social emotional learning and how we're doing it here, and take home some resources to kind of build that partnership at home to support us and us to support them. We do that for math and literacy as well, because it looks a little bit different here with kids that are non-readers versus elementary school, where they're a little bit further along. So we give them opportunities for volunteering and just kind of lay out, if you want to be involved, this is how you can do it. I meet with parents monthly at like a coffee that we do, just to talk about what we have coming up, what's going on, answer questions, give them a chance to meet with other, preschool parents, and that type of thing. Yeah.
You touched on so many great things, right? Meeting with other parents and that partnership, which I think is crucial for the child's success. When we talk about partnering with parents, what role, right? Because we're saying they're coming into these doors 3, 4, 5. They're, may or may not have had similar experiences like this. What role do parents have at home while their kids are going through this transition in preschool, in kindergarten? In your opinion, what brings the most success to them here at school?
Making school sort of a focus, when kids are coming in. Another thing that helps with the transition is that parents kind of build up the school experience for them. If they can read stories about going to school. For our little friends that really struggled, our social workers actually put together a social story, which is a very simple little story with pictures for the parents to, we send it home for them to read to the kiddos to get them excited about coming in every day, because it is a big, scary place when they first get started. So I feel like if the parents can, embrace, hey, this is what school's going to be, make it a positive thing, regardless of what they might have experienced, right? Reading to the students, the kiddos every day is super important. Kids see what their parents are doing, and that's what is important in the kids' heads. So if they see the parent making books an important thing, then they're going to want to pick up books, and they're going to want to, start looking at the pictures and talking about them. And that helps with their development as they become readers and writers. So any kind of, thing that they can do in their spare time, because families are so challenged with time. That's like our biggest asset right now that we don't have enough of, right, is time. But if they can make a little bit of lap time every day and read one book every single day, even if they're not big on reading, they can look at the pictures with the child and ask them, hey, what's happening here? And have the child craft the story from the pictures, or they can craft the story. Tell them stories about your family. Tell them stories about, how they're here, why the family came here. Did they come because of relatives or work? Just give them those details. The more rich vocabulary they give them, again, translates into better learning outcomes for those little ones as they get bigger.
I mean, you talked about it, right? This age, they are sponges. They are taking all this in. They're going to mimic what they see from their parents, what they take as important at early literacy. I'm so happy you touched on that, because that is I mean, just that is a foundation for a lot of the success we'll be having here during a story time, during that free play time when they're going and just sitting down with a friend and you know, flipping through a picture book. That's great.
All those little things you do consistently, you know, when you go to the store, count how many steps you're taking. Like all those things are little skill builders that you don't realize are happening, and they really help your children be successful.
Yeah. This is a fun question. What are 3 things that you feel you can't do your job without?
Oh, wow. A sense of calm.
Yeah.
I have to help regulate both the big people and the little people in the building every day. And so regardless, we're all human. We all have things that we're going through. But I feel like if I am always projecting a sense of calm and positivity, it goes a long way in making sure that is kind of, you know, the co-regulation strategy to help folks feel that way too. So like, I don't know what that would be. It's 2 things sort of, but really it's just like a positive attitude, you know. My staff, there's some, you know, folks here, I don't do this by myself. So I love the collaboration that we have as a team to try and support the kids. And so people here are very willing to step in. I mean, you know, as a principal, I'm one person, and we have, you know, when we're full, over 300 students in the building, and we have about 60 some, you know, people on staff, and so it needs to be a collaborative effort. It's our school, it's not my school. You know, it belongs to the families, it belongs to the kids, it belongs to all of us. So we need to, you know, be able to work with one another. So I think a staff that I have is you know, a big key piece. I couldn't do this without them. I wouldn't want to be here without all of them. You know, in the summer when they're not here, it's just a building. You know, it's not anything without the people that are inside it. So that's a second thing. And then I think definitely being organized, because there's a lot of pieces in the air at the same time, and so having a good organization structure helps you keep all the meetings with different people and all the you know, making sure I get in to see the classrooms every day and see the kiddos, and make sure I'm, you know, coaching my staff on things that, you know, we're kind of working on. So I think those 3 things help a lot.
I mean, core foundations to be able to run a building. I'm taking what you said, and I keep coming back to, you said something key. This is not ours. This is the family space. This is a child's building, their classroom. I think that's so important, because a lot of times, right, we make the space work for us. We make the space, but I've heard you talk about how you're gathering input from the families on what's important to them, what do they want to see in parent learning opportunities throughout the year, and your messaging is, this building is for you. This is a community. We are working together. And I think that's crucial, because again, it ties into everything else we've talked about, where that partnership, if you know, the child is with parents, a large portion of their life, and having that bridge is just going to lead them up for so much more success down the road. If you had a magic wand and could change one thing about your role, your job as principal, what would that be? Good, I mean, positive or negative? What would you change?
I think time, again, is always an issue. So I want more time to do all the things. I want to be able to offer, you know, more services, more things to support our families, our kiddos. And so it just comes down to, you know, we have this limited, finite set of time every day, of minutes. And so making the most of it. But if I had more time, it would be, you know, hey, let's get this great speaker to come in, or let's offer this, you know, after school care type of thing, or other, you know, situations and resources that I think our families could really use, but are not necessarily something that we have access to here right now.
As we're wrapping up, I want to just thank you again so much. I have one more question, and it's kind of to sum up this part 2 of this episode 3, where we've been talking to staff who work directly with kids. As a principal, if you could sum up your work in one word, what would that word be?
Wow. I think inspiration. Trying to inspire these little tiny people to think of themselves as whatever they can imagine themselves, and try and inspire them to keep going. Because right now, it's, you know, we are a play-based school, so the kids learn through play situations, and I see them acting out different things. I had a proposal in a classroom because that had happened in the child's family, and they come here and they're testing things out, So I think that I get inspiration from the kiddos and from some of the things my staff do, hey, great job. So I think that inspiration would be that key, word or key idea of just trying to inspire them to keep going. They're just starting. Yeah. Like one day I'm going to see them all cross the stage, at graduation and move on and be able to, do whatever it is they want. Like I have kiddos that are like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Oh, I want to be a mechanic, or I want to be work at McDonald's, or I want to be the president or whatever. Always like trying to push them. Okay, I'm glad you want to do this. I want you to keep going in school so that one day if you, want to be a mechanic, I want you to have the option to own your own shop or run your own business or that type of thing. Yeah. Like try to open that inspiration of possibilities for them. Yeah,
that's so important. I absolutely love that. Like you said, they're going to have other major transitions in their life or in their educational path. So just helping them prepare for that and seeing the possibilities are in this.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me. I really appreciate it. I absolutely love everything you shared, and I hope to come back another time and continue to help share with our viewers what it's like in the life of a principal.
Yeah, you're always welcome, and I always have a great group here that you can come and visit at any time.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for sitting down with me, Susan. I really appreciate your time and just hearing about how we can help little ones with this huge transition into school. Over the past couple of weeks, we heard some common themes in the last 3 interviews that I was able to make. With professionals that are working with our kids day in and day out, they see them just as much as we do as parents at home. And there's some things that stood out to me that I want to point out from what I heard. First, when talking about transitions, they are so important. And I heard that we really want to prepare our kids early on. Have these conversations weeks, months in advance. We heard some great recommendations about taking your kids to the playground, to the school where they'll be attending, getting them familiar with that atmosphere. Transitions are hard for everyone, and especially for our little ones, setting a routine for what's to come is so important. Another thing I heard is how important it is to reach out and engage with your child's teachers, administrators, office staff, everyone. They want to hear from you. They want to get to know us as parents. So let's make sure we're taking up every opportunity we can to meet them, engage with them, have a chat with them during drop-off or pickup. It's so important. It creates a strong partnership and relationship, which I also think is crucial and I heard is super important. One of the other things that was mentioned a couple of times in my conversations with these professionals was the importance of literacy and how crucial it is to, again, setting the stage for ongoing learning as our children grow older. Reading books, flipping through pages, making up your own story. It adds so much value. It strengthens vocabulary. Really, the benefits are endless. And it's so important for the staff that are going to be welcoming our kids into those classrooms, for them to have a foundation of that importance. Literacy. Let's keep it going with great books. Lastly, one of the things I heard was to keep it simple. Don't overdo it. Kids just want you, just want us, our genuine self, our experiences that we can provide that can be simple yet so informative, unforgettable really for them. We don't need resources. We don't need something that costs a lot of money. They just want us. Keep it simple, keep it fun, and our kids will gain the biggest benefit from those experiences. Those are just some of the things I heard in our couple of interviews that we've had over the past couple of weeks. Again, thank you to everyone for your time. We will dive more into each of these things that we heard and I just highlighted in future episodes with other professionals that are also working to provide the best care, education for our young kids. In our last episode, in part 1, I talked about something that would be starting up, something new, and I've already gotten a great response. Kids have submitted their artwork from our city, our county, and even beyond that. But I want to start this segment in a very special way. I want to start it at home, in my home, with my own children. I have 3 young, beautiful children, Ruby, Frida, and Joaquin. I also want to thank Lincoln and Harper for sending us some of their amazing artwork. I'll be honest, I had to look back at some memories and things I've collected over the past couple of years from my own 3 children. But seeing them brought back so many memories, and that's what I hope to do with this segment. So please continue to send us your masterpiece. Again, thanks to my kids who let me share some of their artwork with all of you, and to our other friends for sharing with us as well. Look forward to more. Well, before we say goodbye and start to wrap up the show, I want to invite everyone to look around. Fall is starting, and it is my favorite season. But fall to me is unique because it provides a lot of opportunities for that simple engagement with our kids. There are a lot of things happening in the community, in the region, and I'm sure where you're watching from as well. So I want to highlight a couple here. First, we have the Fall Food Truck Fest coming up at the end of September. It's a great event. It combines 2 of my favorite things, food and the weather. It's from 5 to 9, Friday, September 26th, here in the city of Aurora. Another opportunity that's coming up very quickly is the Fall Fun at Blackberry Farm. This event is great for young kids, great for children who need some sensory accommodations or just to be outside. The event is open to anyone, and it takes place October 12th here in the city of Aurora as well. And look, let's be honest, there are so many other events occurring that I can't cover them all, but I would invite you to look around, literally, and for events that are happening where you can take your kids and have those simple yet impactful experiences, those learning opportunities. I want to share of a couple of things happening here in our region beyond the city of Aurora. That's all we have for part 2 of this episode around back to school. Thank you so much for coming back and finishing off this important topic with me. Thank you to our guests for your time, your knowledge, your expertise. I'm really excited to continue doing this. We have a lot more interviews lined up with people who are working and want the best for all our kids. See you at the next episode. See you next month, and go outside and have some fun.